Did a lot of hiking today, checking some things out. Before supper, just get a little reading in and enjoy the peace at the cabin. The gray jays haven't come around yet. I think they're still raising their young. They're not ready to bring them into the public yet. They nest early. I saw a young one today out in the woods, but not one of my crew. A lot of insects flying around, but the mosquitoes are still at bay. Nothing fancy for supper tonight, just some deer burger. Fry that up, slather it in mustard. Got a pot of wild rice boiling up over here. My new window on the north side has really worked out well. It gives me this view. And then I look out this way. I got this view to the west. So and I've got my nice view of the Cedars out this way. I want you to notice how the cabin sits on some higher ground, but right behind the cabin it drops off into the big white cedars. The big white cedars, they provide a special habitat for the calypso orchids. And here we're at the top of Minnesota, the last days of May, and it's the ideal time for the calypso orchids to be out. I want to show you some. When you get down into these mature white cedars with the open understory, you start looking close and you'll usually find some calypso orchids scattered around. There's probably 100 in this area right around here, about an acre by the cabin. The calypso orchid is really hard to spot until you know what you're looking for, because they are really small. It's right there in your picture. Got plenty of firewood there on the left for next winter, but I like to be a couple years ahead, so I'm going to go over and work on filling this blank spot up with some good Aspen firewood. Got a couple blow down, nice healthy trees, so it's really good wood. Here's the next tree. I'm going to get the rest of the way down, come out of the ground, but it's going to be a challenge because it's hung up in these trees way up there. Awful lot of weight. Ideally, when I make this bottom cut down here, it'll do some separating, but it could come sliding back down and pinch my bar too, so I'm going to put a wedge in there to make sure it doesn't. The tree's cracking away and there's not much holding, so I'm just going to take the saw and just cut in there just a little bit, being very careful. But if I mess up, I got another chainsaw to cut my way out. Now what I usually do is just start taking 4 to 5 foot sections off the bottom and letting the tree fall down. Eventually it'll get nearer straight, and you got to watch out what's going on. I kept taking out those about 5 foot pieces. It would fall straighter, and then pretty soon I got over here and pretty up and down. Just cut some pieces out, let it fall. Some of that I didn't film. Sometimes it's just best off not to show some of those trickier moves. When I was here last fall, I worked so hard on getting that cabin raised up about 8 or 9 inches and put a rock foundation under it. A lot of hard days. So my goal this time was get some work done, but take a lot of rest breaks and really enjoy what's up here. Kind of a cool day, the wood stove's going inside, but this is one of my special little spots. In fact, this one I call it Marty Marsh. It's a little pin dot of a bog down amongst the cedar swamps. Down south of the cabin about a half a mile, but just a real nice place to come to. I took the long way today. I was out bushwhacking. I got socks I got to dry, but thought I'd get off the trail a little bit, have some fun. Marty Marsh probably doesn't cover maybe a half acre, but it's a real nice spot. I come down here in the winter time. My bench here faces south. Come down a lot of times, there's gray jays hanging around, boreal chickadees. Just a nice place to sit in the sun. One of my favorite breakfasts up here. Venison steak and farm-raised eggs. I'm serious about that, taking it easy this trip. Nice and sunny outside, but it's in the low 40s. I've taken advantage and taken a lazy morning here in the cabin, but I did do some cleanup, got my dishes done, and maybe I'll show you that routine of how I go about that up here. I try to plan ahead and do my dishes on a day when I've had to have the wood stove going. It's cool mornings. Made a good morning for that, so the water was good and hot in that white pot on the stove. Then I just bring it over to my table and put it in these containers. Get my hot wash water in here, and then some good hot rinse water here. Over to my drying rack. And then after that, when things are dried down a little bit, I put them away in all my little storage places. Cornbread pan goes upside down in the oven, along with the other baking dishes. And I've got this little cupboard over here with everything. A little spot for everything. Turners go there. Things are labeled, forks, spoons. Plates go here, serving bowl goes on top of there. These little dishes I use to carry food and bread out in the woods in my pack so they don't crush. The pans, they all go up here on their little respective hooks. Made up Swedish coffee this morning, so I had the coffee screen out to filter out any grounds, but I waited long enough, there weren't any. These bowls get stored way in the back here. This up and got a little magnet, closed it. If I leave, I fasten it good, but keeps the mice out of all my utensils. I made up a pot of Swedish coffee this morning just for something different, but I really like using the old percolator. The nice aroma it puts in the cabin. I found out even if I have guests and they want to sleep in, when the coffee starts perking, they get stirred out. Up in the west peak of the cabin is what I call my memorial wall. That's where we retire the cups of those who have passed on. The metal cup there, that's Felix Innes. He was living here in 1948. And above that, there's an old rusty North Star beer can, and I put that up there to symbolize the farmers hunting group that had this. And the white cup, Hawk, he was one of our original partners who passed away 20 years ago now. And next to him is the mug that Wayne, a frequent visitor to the cabin. Now I need to add one more because Richard, another one of our original partners, he passed away in this winter. Looking up at that wall reminds me to cherish all the moments I can have back here before my favorite cup from Ireland is hanging up there with him.